Hello everybody, Cal Banyan's Hypnosis, etc. And I'm Cal Banyan, and have I got the most exciting episode ever. Here we have, let me tell you what, this is an episode like no other. This is our 400th episode, and we have our very first co-host, Celeste Hackett, and I have the two current co-hosts. We got Brenda, Titus, and Erika Flint here to celebrate. We got cake, we got everything, and I'm so excited to have you here. And let me do a quick introduction of each one, just in case you didn't know. Some of you folks that have just been watching lately, you haven't met Celeste. Celeste was my very first co-host. And when I think of her, I think you've come a long way, baby. Because when she first started on the podcast, she was rather new to the profession, which was the way I like them, because they have lots of questions that some of our viewers can relate to. She's a full-time, award-winning consulting hypnotist, leader in the profession. She writes for the Journal of Hypnotism and is a true believer in 5-Path and a certified professional hypnosis instructor, which means she teaches all my courses, the NGH-approved Banyan Hypnosis Certification Super Course, and the Week of Power. And she's coming to us from Plano, Texas. How you doing, Celeste?
Hey everybody. Hey Cal, thank you for inviting me. It's great to be back to celebrate the 400th episode of Hypnosis, etc. So I'm very excited about this.
Cool. I'm going to have you talk quite a bit in this episode because I know you got some really great nuggets for our audience. I just want to say, four of us for the 400th episode. I'm so excited, and everybody's kind of had to jump through some loops and do some special programming and scheduling challenges to be here. Let me also, all you folks know Brenda Titus. She's a professional consulting hypnotist with lots of enthusiasm for the profession, dedication to her clients and other hypnotists as well. She's a bachelor's degree in sociology, MA in criminology. She speaks at the National Guild of Hypnotists, just like all of our other co-hosts do, and she works full-time at our center. She is also an assistant trainer who helps supervise practice during classes and basically gives some insider tips, tricks, and techniques during class. Obviously a true believer in 5-Path. How you doing, Brenda?
I am doing wonderful, Cal. I am so thrilled to be here, and I'm very thankful to my dear friends Celeste and Erika for jumping through those hoops along with me to be here, and Cal, for you for asking us to do this today, because I just think what a great way to celebrate this milestone, our 400th episode. So yes, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for having us today.
Oh, thank you, thank you. All right, I'm kind of under some time pressure here to get everybody in. Let me introduce Erika Flint, our newest co-host, an up-and-comer in the profession. She went full-time recently, like in about a year, replacing a very professional income, I might say, in the computer profession. She spoke at the NGH convention. She's another true believer in 5-Path and 7-Path. She's a new certified professional hypnosis instructor, or as like we like to call CFI. She's a writer for the Banyan Easing Hypnosis, Banyan Easing on hypnosis.org, just like all of our other co-hosts. And she is coming to us from Bellingham, Washington. How you doing, Erika?
Hi Cal, it's great to be here for the 400th episode. I am so excited to be here and honored to be on this podcast with such a great group of other people. So it's just fun to be here, and I'm really excited. I can't believe it's 400 episodes that you guys have done. It's just really quite amazing. And so Cal, let me introduce everybody to you. Cal is the hypnosis celebrity, not only because of all of his fame in the profession and all of the wonderful hypnosis training videos that he's done, like this one. This is number 400, because he's received almost every single recognition in the profession, every single award, and it's made him the authority on the subject of hypnosis and hypnotherapy. He's also appeared on both television and radio. He's the author of one of my very favorite books, The Secret Language of Feelings, and he's also the trainer of some of the best in our profession. He's also still teaching, he's still writing, he's still seeing clients. I don't know how you do it, Cal. This is quite remarkable, all of these things that you do. So anyway, he has also had a profound effect on me in my practice, because once I took his 5-Path training class, I felt like I could see clients. So let's just put it that way, Cal. I feel great. I'm honored to be here, very happy, and I'll pass it back over to you.
You know, thank you very much, Erika. As you're saying that, how do I do it? I do it with the help of others. no way could I have done this by myself. First of all, there's Maureen, my wife, who runs the center. I'm in charge of hypnosis, hypnotherapy, training, writing, marketing, podcasts, and stuff like that. But she makes me free to do that by running the business in the background. I also want to put out some gratitude to a couple of other really important people who contributed to this in a big way. And that's thank you Meredith Locker, who's also done many, many episodes, probably nearly 100 or so. And she's contributed in a big way. She's not with us today, but my gratitude is out there for you. Also, L. Ron Ferguson, the only other guy who's been on this program as a co-host, and I'm really excited. Thank you, L. Ron, for your contribution. Also, to the many other people who've come on the show, not least of which would be Dr. Dwight Damon himself, President of the National Guild of Hypnotists, has done 1 or 2 episodes with us. So that's how this gets done. And I remember when I first started doing this, everything that I do that is training oriented is I think about what do I wish I would have had earlier on in my profession, from the very beginning and in those early first couple of years. And then what kind of ongoing support would I like to have? And that's was the guiding light for putting this program together. And here we are, 400 episodes later. Probably the first 10 or 15 were audio only, and then we switched over to video. Now, speaking about those early days, I'm going to kind of go chronologically through our co-hosts, what they're going to do. The theme of this podcast is really, how can the many benefit from the experiences of the few? And you cannot teach and you cannot share about this profession without learning something. So I'm going to start off with Celeste. Celeste, how have you benefited in a way that others can benefit from hearing about it from you?
So, when I first became a hypnotist, I had sort of tunnel vision because I really needed to make money, and that I also wanted to help people, and I had dabbled in hypnotism before and I loved it. And I really couldn't think outside of that for a long time. And when you invited me to do the podcast, from my radio background, I kind of knew an opportunity when I saw one, so I decided to jump in there even though I was really frightened to do it. Because being around you, I mean, you're a genius. And it was just kind of tough trying to measure up. I thought it would be really tough, and you've always made us all feel so comfortable. But was one of my challenges. But then when I started doing it, I noticed that over the years, I didn't figure this out right away, that being a visionary, you could see into the future, and you were planting seeds in me. And over time, my vision started becoming wider. And I began to think about promoting the profession, becoming one of those dedicated individuals committed to advancing the field of hypnotism. And I started really becoming more dedicated to the National Guild of Hypnotists and learning how important for instance, the union is, and all those sorts of things. And so certainly, from the time that you and I started working together, there are other things that happened too. It's just been such a wonderful ride because I opened a state licensed school with the help of your wife, Maureen Banyan, and my husband, Christopher Hackett. And I've done thousands of sessions now. I've been the MC for the last couple of years at Solid Gold, which is our conference in Las Vegas every year, which is so fun. And I've presented at the National Guild of Hypnotists, but in the beginning, all I wanted to do was make money. And so I think it's just widened my scope of understanding not only how to practice the really good hypnosis that helps people for a lifetime make changes, but also how important it is as a profession, how important my place is in the profession to help it grow and become and stay viable for the coming years for other people in the future.
Awesome. So I really appreciate that. So now how about one little piece of advice for either the new hypnotist or someone that's been in the profession a while so that they can become an up-and-comer?
One piece of advice for hypnotists is always get good training and make sure that the training has ongoing, unsurpassed support after the class. I mean, it's hard to give just one piece, but that one piece, if you get in the right training, they will lead you everywhere else you need to go, the correct teacher. I guess that's the best advice I could give.
Well, thank you. You know, and the other thing I've heard you say is step up, get involved, overcome your nervousness, and just keep stepping up, right?
Absolutely. You have to do things when you don't really feel safe doing them, like talking on a microphone or being on camera or taking clients when you're not feeling like you've got the training, but now you've got to put it into practice. And at first you're a little bit acting as if you've done this a million times before. And with that, you're sort of helped from above, if you will. And also surround yourself with people who are better than you are, people who have been there for a while and have the experience. Become friends with them. That helps.
Awesome. Thanks so much. I'll be back to you in a bit. So next, Brenda, what is your nuggets for this program today?
Well, the first nugget that I would like to share is this beautiful cake, actually, Cal. We have a happy 400th episode cake, and it's right here, and I wish all of you could have a piece of it, but instead I'm going to share a couple of nuggets of wisdom and knowledge. And I think about 400 episodes, and the truth is that when I actually started as a hypnotist, it was very sudden. I was not expecting to have a new career, and here I was, and it was very quick, very sudden. And truly, it was thanks to the podcast that I even made the decision. I was watching one of the series on forgiveness with Cal and Meredith, and that series literally changed everything for me. I realized, oh my gosh, this is such incredible work, such a beautiful way to help people. And that series was so quality. And I think that's one of the important things for everybody to understand when we talk about that. How can the many benefit from the few? Is that, you know, there's only a few of us that are co-hosts. However, our goal, I know mine and especially Erica's as we've continued forward, is always what else can we do to advance the profession? What can we bring to the table so that all of you can learn something new? Maybe we learn something new, and then we want to take advantage of this incredible format that we have to be able to talk with Cal, ask questions, share what we know. So I think that is just such an incredible, important part, is all of this free training. If we were just to say, 400 episodes, that's like 200 hours worth of free training, and it's all very quality. We work very hard to put things together so that you can just have it there, and it's available forever. It's always there for you. So while I can't give you a piece of the cake, I can give you that piece of wisdom today, thinking about how great this podcast has really helped me in my profession.
Awesome. I'm going to have you thank you, Brenda. I'm going to have you dig a little bit deeper because I got time, and I want you just like I do in class. If you knew then what you know now, give them a piece of advice how they can begin to step up in this profession.
If I knew then what I know now, well, I have been incredibly blessed by actually working here, and so Cal has definitely been a part of showing me the path and helping me get on it. And one of the very important things that I learned was very early on was to say yes. When he encouraged me to come on the podcast, just like Celeste said, it was scary but exciting, and I said, okay, sure, I can do that. When Cal said, hey, I think that you should submit a presentation for the convention, I said, oh, I hadn't even occurred to me to do that so soon. Okay, I can do that. And Cal came to me and said, well, what about doing some writing? And I said, okay, I can do that. And so every step of the way, You know, there are avenues of being able to reach out, give back, and all of you can do this too. I actually, as we were going through the convention this summer, I looked at different friends of mine or people that I was talking to, and I said, oh, you know what would be a great thing for you to submit? What do you think about this? What do you think about when I submit, you know, XYZ? Would you come to that? Is that interesting? So I really recommend, you know, if I knew then what I know now, you know, submit for the NGH convention, submit articles to, you know, the NGH journal, you know, approach Cal. Cal has that e-zine online, you know, that maybe he'll be interested in new writers. There's all kinds of ways that you can all give back and be part of the profession, because in the end, when we give back, we learn as well. And I think every time that I've had an opportunity to present either here on the podcast or to write, I have learned so much, and it's always been very rewarding and very gratifying. Oh my gosh. How about that, Cal?
You know, and thank you very much, Brenda. And really, I think that if this had a subheading, it would be gratitude. I really am grateful for all you co-hosts, and even the ones that are, and of course the ones that aren't here on this episode today. Gratitude, and I think that really goes a long way. And one of the themes I'm hearing here is, oh, I'm going to save it until it's my turn to share a nugget. Let's hear from Erika.
All right, well, Cal, I have something to share as well. Like Brenda, I don't have a full cake, but I do have a cupcake. And I put a cute picture of all four of us at the convention this summer on it with the Hypnosis number 400, Hypnosis, etc. number 400. So I'll get to enjoy eating that later. And that was a lot of fun putting that together. I think for me, you know, me coming in and you inviting me onto the show, I think in February you invited me. I've just learned so much, and that's huge value for me. What did I get out of it? Well, thinking about things and teaching them are two completely different things. And when you have to think about something for a podcast like this, then you have to consider what's the best way to present this information. And then I learn something when I think about how do I want to present it to other people? How can they learn? It helps me connect the dots between things that I already know. It forces me really to critically consider some of these things. And so my learning increases and I have a deeper understanding, and I really appreciate that. So gratitude for me is one of my favorite words. Gratitude and kindness, I think those are my two favorite words. I am so thankful to be here. I have learned so much. The other thing that is so important to me that I've gotten out of this really is community and connection with other people. So I love how people feel more open in connecting with me and wanting to ask me questions, or, you know, like at the convention, that type of a thing. And then just really having a deeper friendship or relationship with other hypnotists and talking about the things that we care about, and you know, moving the profession forward like Brenda was talking about. So it's a real platform for community and for communication. And I think that's really important, because I honestly believe that this show brings so much value to the profession, you know, and it's one of the first things that I do. I'm not afraid to ask questions, right? I mean, here we are sharing our knowledge, but that doesn't mean I know everything. So here I am. If I ever have a question, one of the first things I do is I go to your list of all the videos that you've produced, and I just, you know, I take 20, 30 minutes and watch something that you've produced, because it's still of value, even if it was, you know, a few years ago. So I really appreciate that. And guess what? If it hasn't been something that we've covered, then you and I get to talk about it, or maybe me and Brenda get to talk about it. So I think it's just a wonderful way, and I'm just honored and very grateful to be part of this.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Erika. And you know, so one of the kind of my chance to share a nugget, and I think one of the things is that what I learned about over these years of doing this podcast, I already knew about the power of teaching. For example, if you're in a martial arts class, you start off as a white belt. As soon as you get that yellow belt, you're going to start teaching the white belts. And I don't know what's next. Green, as you become a green belt, you start teaching the yellow belts. And I knew about training and teaching from being an instructor in the Air Force. But I've learned about the power of mentoring, of being there to encourage, and to be there when someone has questions. And that has benefited me personally and also professionally, because when, just like in class, as you mentor someone, you become, everyone has their own challenges and their own experiences as they move into this profession, and the different degrees of being in this profession, starting out, intermediate, advanced, mastering, and this kind of thing. And when people bring those questions or those situations, or that situation with a particular client, then it allows me to take what I know and apply it to their situation. And so it helps me to better understand hypnosis. It helps me to better understand hypnotherapy. It helps me to better understand how 5-path works and how 7-path self-hypnosis works. And it gives me more confidence in what I teach. One thing, Brenda and Celeste and Erika, and of course Meredith and Elron, they're true believers. They are, someone could not convince them that this stuff doesn't work. Most of us have either experienced a self-transformation through 7th path self-hypnosis practice, or through 5-path work with another hypnotist. And so I think that's just given me this, of course it's gratifying personally to get to know these high-quality individuals, but to just develop that mastery of what we do and that unshakable confidence that you get when you are a true believer. Any of you want to add to that?
I'll add, actually, Cal, you and I talked about confidence yesterday, and it was probably one of the most important things that, in terms of my personal experience overall, that comes along with the podcast is, it takes a lot of confidence and belief in yourself, or, jumping on in to do a podcast like this, to put forth information, to get in front of a camera, all of those things. And I know as well, just, confidence is so important in our field, to go in and say, I know I can help you. I know how many times in the last week I said, don't worry, I know exactly what to do. And that confidence is so important for all of us to be able to have and be able to put out on the podcast, as well as through all of our teaching and sharing with others. So thank you for mentioning that today, because I think that's just such an important element. So thank you for mentioning that, Cal.
Super. Erika, you want to add anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, definitely. I was just thinking, let's just say you're a new hypnotist. You don't have to know every single thing. Good training is great. This is what Celeste was talking about. I completely and totally agree with that. But you don't have to know everything. But if you are a true believer, you know that you can help somebody. They can tell. And when you really are able to convey that to your client, you say, I know I can help you, and I know exactly what to do, right? Then you really can help people. They believe in you too. And then you can make the world a better place, right? By helping people one person at a time.
Beautiful. Sometimes you don't have to, you never have to know everything, or I never would have started the podcast, because certainly I don't know everything, but you eventually know something. And if nothing else, you have a question. And sometimes just bringing the question out in front of people, that knowledge will begin to flow to you. Okay, Celeste, whatever you want to add, and then I want you to wrap it up.
All right. Well, the whole confidence thing, you guys did just a wonderful job talking about that and speaking to that. And I think you sort of borrow from the confidence of your instructor and your colleagues who are more advanced. You borrow from that until you get some experience and some positive situations where you feel like you were successful, and from there's no turning back. And this is such an amazing profession. It sort of takes on a life of its own once you start doing it. So I'm just so happy to have been a part of hypnosis, etc., and to have been introduced into hypnosis, what I feel to be a very beautiful and proper way, I guess to say, and to be sort of mentored and helped to become successful through Cal and the NGH and Maureen and all of my colleagues that went before me. And I think it's just a wonderful way to learn and grow in the profession. I also want to say just about hypnosis, etc. itself, books and words are dry, but when you're face to face with the hypnotist watching the videos, it's a whole new realm of getting your continuing education that is very special. This is our 400th episode. It's just such a pleasure to be with people like Eric and Brenda who are just tearing it up. I mean, they're growing so fast. I'm just watching their smoke behind them, and to bow to Meredith and Elron, who went kind of in the between, and just to say, hey guys, I really miss you. And I also want to talk to hypnotists in general who are sort of getting their footing, and just say, don't just think about what's in it for me and how I can grow my profession and how I can make CDs to sell and audio programs and training. Think about your peers and the profession itself. If we don't all work together to build the profession, promote the profession, advance the profession of hypnotism, then it may not be here in the future. We have to work on that and keep that top of mind. Cal, do you want me to wrap up, or did you want to add anything there?
Go ahead and wrap it up.
All right then. So also the 65th anniversary of the NGH is next year. So if you can make it to the convention, oh my God, it's going to be a party. You got to be there. It's going to be so wonderful. But this is our 400th anniversary of Hypnosis, etc., Cal Banyan's Hypnosis, etc. This is the best source of continuing education on the internet for hypnotists. I keep watching it myself, and I still get golden nuggets all the time. I bow to all of my co-hosts and you, Cal, and to you, the viewers. Please keep tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much, Celeste. Thank you all. Let me say a couple things about this ongoing training thing. I talk about gold in, gold out. Just Google that. You'll find it, gold in, gold out. And it has to do with having that constant flow of positive information coming in. The world is trying to get you off track. Television, radio, the internet is trying to suck up your time. And when you can subscribe, become a VIP member of this site, send a blank email to videos@calbanyan.com, and you'll get on our list. Every week we'll send you out a notification of a new video, and we'll give you a link to that page that has a list of all the videos, so that you can really let us take off where your training ended. And if you're not a confident, competent hypnotist at this point, or you just want to become a 1%er, one of the best in the profession, I want to invite you to come to my certification course. At the time of recording this, we've got two coming up, October 13th and March 2nd of 2015, October of 2014 and March 2015. I want to see you in class. I want to see who the next Brenda or Celeste or Elron or Meredith is. I want to see you in class. And then together, we are going to work together to help you move up in the profession. As was said earlier, we give unparalleled support. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Please pass this on to your hypno friends. Tell everybody about it, because together we are raising the profession. This is Cal Banyan, over and out. This recording is the property of Cal Banyan and the Banyan Hypnosis Center for Training and Services, Incorporated. All rights reserved, for private use only, may not be duplicated without permission. For contact information, go to www.hypnosiscenter.com.